to 500, then we got them back up to 750, then I had to cull them down to 250, and I don't want to do that again. When I did that, the meat production, and obviously peeling of the levers and the wools and stuff like that, I didn't have enough clothes, which is why we ended up with like 150 people needed clothes that were in tattered apparel and stuff like that, which was upsetting them. I didn't have meat for like carnivore meals and pemmican, and I have a shit ton of like various cats and panthers getting around. Panthers for hauling, cats for padding, and yeah, I didn't have meat to support them either. So because of all these things, we've had like a bunch of chain reactions from that. Like at the moment we clearly have meat. I bought meat, which reminds me, I did a sale up here. Yeah, I thought so. Dodsworth is probably definitely coming up for stuff. Pumpkin might be. Now she's harvesting stuff. Nuffer's coming up here to pick up stuff. I wonder if anybody's picking that up. I'll have to make sure that they bring all the food down. Yeah, can you bring down the insect meat? They won't touch that, but they're gonna fucking make it into something and they're gonna like it. You know, this can take its time getting down into colony. It's fine. That's not expiring anytime soon. But yeah, Mitz is coming up here to grab stuff. They look like they're constantly coming up to get meat, which is good. It's just, it is kind of expiring, and I have got a lot of warg meat. You know what I'd love to see sometimes? Is I'd love to see them divide the warg meat pile, for instance, into like 2 lumps. So then I could send like 2 people in rotation with other people like constantly coming up to get stuff. We also dropped some stuff out of the caravan down here, but this is almost all of it's been put away. We've just got the chem fuel outside again. And honestly, I don't have anything to like resupply that. So, I don't know, somebody's been bringing it inside. We also have a few of these to deal with when everybody gets unhappy, so we'll deal with that and stuff. But yeah, honestly, we went from like 260 to 280-ish colonists like pretty quickly, and we went from like 220 to 260 pretty quickly. So I haven't had a lot of like chances to catch up and actually like meet the supply that everybody is needing. So like we've had a few times where it just makes it really difficult to have enough stuff for everyone. Like at the moment we've got a big patch that's been eaten by the animals. That's fine. Like people come down here and sow this later, but like I have all this area up here. My animals are currently eating that and here. So the only good thing was when I took all the animals off to go do the gold mining, right, because there was lumps of gold we found, I was physically taking the animals out of here and we were getting a lot of food, and I was supposed to kind of keep doing it until I was ready and found a location. But now that I want everybody back in here, I'm going to have all my animals. And as we saw, I've got like, what was it? We're going to have like up to 40 muffaloes. We're going to have like 30-ish yaks. Like this is only counting the females, right? And we'll have like 20 odd horses, 20 odd dromedaries and stuff. When they, like, I don't like keeping like a lot of the males and stuff because cull them, you get the meat. The females reproduce and shit. But like I'm gonna end up with like a lot of males and females at the same time, which I could be culling for meat production, but I need for hauling. So, you know, that just means like a bit of supply of meat that's not currently getting culled because I'm letting it jump up again. But we're gonna easily hit 600 animals probably by end of winter, spring definitely. Probably 600 animals. As long as nothing major happens to them, like we don't get the animal flu or something again. Oh yeah, that's right. I found there was jade. Hold on. Wait, that's not that perfect square, is it? Oh, let's go find out. Hold on. Can I just borrow your machine for a second, sir? Oh, thank God, no. It's there. All right. I'll bring something. I don't know. Oh, that's right. We had a lump of something land there. That's right. That's what happened. Where was the other one? I saw... Is that silver? That's jade. Okay. Let me just move a couple of machines around. I want these ones up here that they're not doing anything with. Got a lot of tolerance for this game. Slow down. This one I don't think I would keep animals because of lag. So culling the animals actually makes no difference to the lag. So when 1.5 corrupted my tile, I ran a whole bunch of tests. And so I basically like loaded in with my save. Like you've seen how frequently I save the game and shit, right? So I basically like loaded in and I tested a few things. I tried culling off purely small animals like chickens and guinea pigs and stuff like that. And then I kind of like saw how the game was running, wasn't doing anything different. So I loaded in again. I tried culling off like a huge amount of people or abandoning a heap of people. Didn't really do much. Like in the case of my colony, the only time you're really going to see it absolutely like slow down, right, is when every single gardening field is currently like at 100% crops, right? So like this kind of shit. And there is supplies on the ground. Like once it starts getting up around like 7,000 rice or something like that sitting on the ground, at the same time as like most of the areas are in like good, like full harvestable kind of thing, that's when we start having problems. Because all my plants and stuff got sway on and shit. Like you can see them moving, right? So that swaying plus like 280 people plus 500 animals plus shit ton of storage plus shit ton surplus food, because they bring it in here and they just dump it on the ground, right? Because this is all the areas like storage for the animals to just bring in, right? So we'll get like several thousand rice or berries sit in here. We'll have a bunch out there. We'll have everything moving on the screen that could be possibly moving at the same time. And that's when it slows down. I understand, like, to the average person playing RimWorld, this is, like, substantially slower than what everybody's used to because, like, shit just zips around the place and stuff. But, like, honestly, at 2 years, 3 months into playing this, it's probably something that's so slowly progressive, it isn't noticeable. I'm not chopping and changing between different games. I'm not adding any performance mods or anything like that. There's no difference to me, like what I'm used to. I also have a fuck ton of patience, generally speaking. So, like, I don't tend to care or notice as much when something is, like, not going a mile a minute. I also like the fact that probably because it is sort of running at this pace, I guess, like, for me, I talk a lot. And I kind of figured that, like, I don't know, just gives me more time to think sometimes. Not necessarily, like, I have events happen. Like, when we get raided by a legitimate big group, like, I'm doing a lot of start-stopping in battles and stuff like that. It's a lot of deep concentration for, like, up to an hour and a half, sometimes. Obviously, sometimes it's only, like, a 20-minute battle, and it's one and done, and it's gone, you know. But sometimes the battles are bad and there's a lot of fucking strategy to try to deal with it. Or at least contain it, kind of thing. Like the battles that we got over here, that was bullshit. Like I can't fight something over here in this tunnel. It's too narrow. If I get mechs, this is why I have so many turrets on this side. If I get mechs, I can't defeat them over here until they breach through or go around and stuff. You ever just randomly attack your neighbors? No. So, like, stealing from my allies, like stealing their people, that is something that I've only done in Asora. Like, if somebody comes here and they've got a specific name, like Grim, for instance, I attack them to take Grim. Same with Tyran and Bombay and Kit Kat and stuff. I attack them for specific people that match, like, you know, people that actually exist in my community and stuff, because I don't rename anybody. But, like, before then, I'd never attacked any of my allies. I don't go and attack any colonies here either. Like, I don't drop in and be like, hey, let's fight, square up, I want your shit, kind of stuff. Like, I don't do that. Which is why I think that, like, doing a playthrough run of that would be quite interesting. Because I'm like, I'd be curious how it would affect dealing with certain stuff in the future. Like my perspective on it. You're having a food binge, but you still on the prisoner's food? Like seriously, Jet. Low blow, mate. Never seen a 200 pawn raid. I haven't either. I've seen a 145 person raid so far. Mechs are in like the 44s or 54s. Manhunter packs. I mean, we had the 84 wargs, I think. I think it was wargs. That wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. They broke in, like, they came in down here. And I basically just stockpiled everybody in here. So as long as nobody was outside, we were fine. But then, like, we've had, what did we have that time? We had 33 bears. We've had a lot of elephants before. The elephants I genuinely fucked around with, though. We had this massive group of elephants, like, spawn in up the top here. And I genuinely could have taken them, and we had, like, a shit ton of turrets. We could genuinely have taken them. But I called for allies. And my allies, like, landed and left. And so I called for, like, more allies, and I think they died. I think they ended up going up and dying in the group, because I just kept running away from the elephants. No reason. I could have fought them. But anyway, you know, shits and giggles and entertainment sometimes. And, yeah, I ended up in the middle of the battle with that. My other allies, like, you know what, you look like you need some help. So they sent me like 99 people, and that was insane. I've never seen that before until then. I'd love to see it again, but I don't want to know what I have to get to have that spawn again, you know. And it wasn't even that many elephants, I don't think. It was like 50 odd elephants or something. Like, not a big amount. Let's have a look side whacking tat. Happily snuggles both wolf plushes, brushing face against wolf plushes. How's your splinter, Viking? Hopefully it's finally out of your paw. I hope you're feeling better today. I give you and plushes pats. Are you planning on recruiting any more pawns? Yeah. I mean, if I see people, like if somebody attacks me, like you would have seen it, or maybe not, with these two, where I had a little tiny attack raid hit me. And I check out everybody just to see if they have like specific skills that I want or like traits and stuff. But I won't take a super loyal. So even if somebody's got really great stats or a specific name, I won't take them if they're super loyal because they can fuck off. But as for like battles, these two were downed in battle. I didn't purposely down them. I just let my people have that because there was only like 8 people or something. It was probably like actually 18, but it was like such a tiny raid, right? So I just let my people have that, and they ended up being down. I'm like, I could probably rescue them. I'll try to rescue them. So I wasn't intending to take prisoners after like 280, but if I see people, like if somebody comes in and they've got like supreme medical skills and something else that I need at that time, I'll definitely take them. Like I'm always down to take cooks and medics. Medics specifically will take priority if I see someone that's got like really high skills. Like, where was Dahlia? I saw him just a moment ago. You. Like he's got cooking and animals and medical skills that are really high. I think he actually only had like these two, but or whatever. But like I've been like letting him like enhance his skills because I've got like enough cooked stoves and I've got enough animals for him to practice with and stuff. But yeah, like that's like a winning combination. Like I like getting people that can shoot. I like getting people that can do cooking, plants, animals, medical. Good if they've got social, like if they've got social and shooting or something like that, I'm cool with that too. Because as long as I've got somebody that can use the comms console or do a trade and somebody that can hunt stuff. I don't often have much here to hunt, and as you can see, I almost never have much to hunt. So a lot of my gunners lose practice over time, which is kind of shit. Core game doesn't have any like target practice stuff, which is fine because I honestly hate going into like somebody else's stream and they've got like up horns just sitting there target practicing non-stop, and I'm just like, I'm so sick of listening to this thing shooting. But like in the size of this colony, it drive me mental. But yeah, no, I get them to practice when we have attacks and shit like that. But like, you know, my own person came in. I don't know who I came in with. I came in with somebody. I attacked for that to take me and stuff. But like I have animals and crafting, like big whoop on crafting. I have so many people that can do crafting, but it's the name that I took. You know, same with Johnson. Like he's alright. Just social stuff. Actually, I should make him do social stuff more often. Somebody in here has 16, and I think it's like... I think it might be Viper. It's either Viper or Lasagna. Ultra, I don't think it's you. You got 13. And it might not be Viper, it might be Lasagna has it. And Labia is basically one of our communications people. She's a 14. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if somebody comes in and they got a specific name, like, if somebody comes in and they've got, like, a name that's, like, you know, Sheep or Bob or whatever, right, and matches somebody in my community, I will take them. Unless they're super loyal, in which case I'll kill them so that they respawn. We had that with Kit Kat. We had Kit Kat, I kept seeing come in as, like, Kit and Cat with my allies, and then I think actual Kit Kat was an enemy. We got lucky with that one, but I was like this close to just killing, like, I don't know, Kit or Cat or whatever, whichever one it was that was with my allies, because I kept seeing them come in, and I know that they won't respawn unless you kill them, and I'm like, yeah, no, I might just do that just to get them, because, like I said, because I don't rename anybody, they have to come in with the right name. Just like I've got somebody in here that's Blue Jay, and I haven't found anybody come in with, like, a J name yet. I've been trying to get somebody for, like, Jay Lee, and Old Man Blue Jay is the only person I've got so far that's got, like, a close enough name and stuff. So, yeah. Mind you, in saying that, like, I got Gorilla for a waiver, so names don't have to be, like, legit. She was, like, really, really obsessed with gorillas, so it made perfect sense. But yeah, I don't know. One thing I do want to do at the next location is I do want to kind of work with the hydroponics more. But they're going to use, well, maybe. They're going to use a bit of power. You know what? Oh, no, I'd need a light plus them. I was going to say, I'm like, oh, it won't use as much power as this light. And then I'm like looking at the fact that this doesn't require, like, the area around it doesn't require electricity to grow the thing. And I'm like, maybe. But yeah, I want to dabble with that because as we go further north, it's going to get colder and colder. But yeah, I don't know. I used to have, like, a variety more animals too. I used to have, like, pigs and llamas and ibex rams and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I've had to cull things over time based on what they do and or, like, the circumstance of how much meat versus taming. Because the other thing too is with this many animals, you do still have to tame them, which means somebody has to go pick up a piece of food and take it and shove it in their mouth and be like, cool, don't leave. So that's 500 animals that need food plus the 280 odd people. So, you know, at the moment we're looking at, like, feeding basically 700 people or creatures in general, give or take there. Like, some things probably don't need food from the people to be tamed. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen somebody feed a duck recently. I'll keep an eye out for that though. But then there's also, like, I'm not quite sure how often my people eat per day, to be honest. I guess this is something that I could see if I had a smaller colony. But, like, my people are coming in here randomly as they need food. I don't know if they eat twice a day or once a day. I actually have no clue. And I don't know if it tells me. Like, hold on. How much food do you need? Does it say? Health carrying capacity. Life. Food consumption, 1.6. Okay, so you're 1.6. Let's have a look at somebody else random. Yeah, 1.6. So give or take, I guess if they're not like somebody that's a foodie, then they're eating about 1.5 times a day or about maybe 2 times a day, give or take. So yeah, I guess 280 by 2, I guess. Looking at over, what is that, like 540 or something like that? No, that ain't right. Probably like 520 or something like that. Like 280 ended up by 2. Yeah, 560. Wow, I was off in both directions. I was like underselling that, but like 560 food, I guess, a day has to be consumed here, which does make sense for like whenever we've got like 2,000 odd food, it just goes within like usually like a season and stuff. Like, they're struggling to keep up with the simple meals at the moment. We still haven't capped that 4,000 again. And the other thing too is I also have cats and panthers getting in here, and they do help themselves to like proper meals. But the other thing too is if somebody has a tantrum, and they come in here and they steal, sorry, not steal, they destroy a stack of something that's like up to 10,000. Like, that's immediately just a lot of food gone. Where are you starting fires, Chalky? In the kitchen, in the fucking dining area. That's fine. He'd be right. Leave him to set shit on fire. Now, pretty sure we're completely out of beds. Now, if I didn't have prisoners, I could turn this over and I could be like, that can be beds and shit. But I don't want to. How many beds did I say I needed? 263 beds at the time account and 22 couples. I guess that might have been how many beds I had. No, actually that makes sense because it'd be minus the 22 couples. Alright. Basically what happens with the couples is you only need the one bed for it and stuff. So it kind of minus that off it. But yeah. How far out are these guys? They're like half a day away. They might make it home before the end of stream. How are we going with resources? We have good food. We've got 155 components. That's pretty great. Okay. So, what would I like to send out? I want to send out a caravan that has primarily a lot of miners. But I also don't want to just send out a purely human caravan. I do want a lot of animals to go. Like, they'll be home soon. I could start packing a new something. So, I think, first of all, well, I guess it won't really matter. I've just got to load them up with food. I was going to, like, show where we're moving to and, like, say, go there. But I don't actually want them to leave that far. So, I kind of, if I'm going to make caravans, I'll make another caravan when they get home anyway. I'll just fucking wait. It'll give me time to sort out what I want to pack. Nod's not knowing if it's out. Whacking tail happily smiling, receiving pats. Seeing both wolf poshes receiving pats. Stretches paws. No. It'll ruffle the crap out of you. I guess I don't want to send like the drug lab or anything like that. Suspended all of that. That could lift. These can lift up if they're just not currently in use. I don't mind if they're just sitting there ready to go. Like if something's not currently in use. Like this is making nothing. The only reason why I actually like lift up and take these instead of just building new ones is because of the builds that I've already got in it. Like this bullshit. I'm not redoing that at the next location. Or like the fucking stones and stuff. Which, by the way, we're going to have limestone again. Marble blocks, slate forever. Yeah, that's fine. Who's got gut wounds? Cody. Fucking Cody. I like your hair, Cody. That's some nice hair. Sickly, fast learner. I've got a few people as sickly. Honestly, whenever I see something pop up like that, I'm expecting it to be green. Like the colonist green. But yeah, he's fine. Who's having major break? Crow has muscle parasites, so he's fine. What's up with E? I don't care about him. It's fine. E, what's up with you, mate? Divorced by Amia. That's right, you guys broke up. Without a table, disturbed sleep. Luxuriantly comfortable. Mate, what is your room? You got an excellent, good... What have you got on your person then? Excellent, excellent. Oh my god. Yeah, that's some pretty good shit. Calm down, guinea pig. It's not about you. Ambrosia sprout. Where? That's going to get culled. I don't even have to worry about that one. They should cut that. That's fine. Who's the last person? It was Lou, right? Recreation deprived, tortured artists. That's fine. They'll have their mental break and then they'll get inspiration. So that's okay. What else could I guess I could lift up the medical beds that are in here. I could start looking for the masterworks and shit. It will decrease the room, but I could put extra beds in here. That was also the most whistly could I've ever fucking said, I think. Get the masterworks up. This is going to clog my storage a little bit. But I do want to take Masterworks and Legendaries with me. Obviously, like, excellent quality is good too. But if I can move some of these out of here, I can make, like, a couple of normal beds. I don't want these to get lifted up while they're set to prisoner. So once these two are finished being prisoners, I'll set this room to be normal. So I may not have to make the extra beds. It's fine. Who else? Hunter lacks suitable weapon. Everybody lacks a suitable weapon. Jet, what are you doing sleeping here, mate? To be fair, Jet was pigging out, so he might have just collapsed after his, like, mental break, and that's okay. I probably won't take any of the billiards tables with me. I also don't want to try to sell that because, like, they'll cost money and stuff, but this is all going to be very interesting packing up. It's been a year since we moved last, and like I said, we had to move like 2 in a row, so I was kind of sort of already ready for it when the glitch happened because I just moved really recently, so it wasn't any issue. Whereas here, I haven't moved for a year, and I'm just like thinking like what's good to pick up first and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to sell. Like, I could pick up probably like almost every end table. I'll probably end up like breaking that apart or selling it. But yeah, I don't want to like leave stuff if I don't have to. So I need to happily snuggles both wolf blushes. Goes onto back, stretching more, goes under blanket. It is blankety weather. Give you some pats and poop your nose underneath that blanket. You can see it. Neurona, where you go, inspired creativity. That's fine. Okay, the other thing too is I can start to deconstruct these soon, but they are making a shit ton of components. But I also need a shit ton of metal. I could pack up some of my turrets. I don't super want to take them from the front. But I could take the additional row that I made. I could pick those up to take with us. And so they're like 8k each. These are not like ultra important things, but I kind of want to take some without decrease. I can't go any further over, but without decreasing like the security that we've got. You know, I'm betting that's going to pick up the fucking, yeah, Thrumbo. I don't want the solar. I don't want the, stop. I want the solar and I don't want that. Okay, I'll just have to pick up them individually. That stops wagging, falls asleep, circling both wolf plushes. No. Tames. I thought they tamed a squirrel for a second there. I had to do a double take on that. I'm like, no, it's just inspired taming on squirrel. So the reason why I had all of these was kind of for the defense against the mechs that we've had a few times. In worst case scenarios, I can always pick them up and put them back out here. These are not like a super huge priority to me, but I know I've got people around my base that's going to go and pick them up and move them anyway. And depending on what happens, I could always put them back out if I had like a defoliator ship or a psychic pulse ship or something like that hit. So it's not really a big issue. Alright. There's all my extra ones allocated to pick. I do want a caravan. Ugh. The 2 rows of animals coming down. I love it. I do want to pick up some batteries too as well. I don't need batteries like right off the bat, but I also believe I've got enough electricity. We should be okay. Pick those up. Now, a couple of the beds have been picked up. I could move the Masterworks into this room. That would make them non-prison, and then I could lift them. It was so convoluted. But yeah, I could definitely do that. Excellent, excellent. Normal. I'm guessing somebody destroyed the legendary by the look of it. Yeah. I don't think we've got the legendary bed anymore. Unless it's this one. Nah, Masterwork. Okay. That's a shame. But yeah, we'll move that one in there, then we can lift that up. That'll be fine. Okay, so we've got a couple of beds lifted. To be fair, we'll also need 5 foam poppers to be made and lifted. Although I can just make them at the new location. How much did they cost to make? 75 steel and a component. That'll be 40 plus 1 component. 120 plus 4 components. Alright, none of that's really a problem. I will be making the ground penetrating scanners when I get there as well. And I do need advanced components for that, but I've got 19, which means I can make a few of those. What else can I pick up? I guess the chairs that we've got out here, that'd be fine. I might just deconstruct those. Unless, like, one of them's a fucking masterwork or something, then obviously we pick it up. But yeah, stuff like this, it's just out and about. I can sell or I can deconstruct it. I kind of want to put the components into a transport pod with the view that then I've got like an amount of it locked in, which I could definitely do. I don't really want to put steel into it. Walk Revenge. That should be fine. It's near the turrets. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I haven't saved for a bit. What else we got? I probably won't... I mean, I will eventually probably lift up a lot of things. Like, I'm only planning to fully deconstruct this place and sell off everything in the event that I have time. If I don't, if it's corrupt, then everything just stays. That's why I'm trying to lift up some things that I could either sell now because they're unnecessary between now and moving, or I could put in a caravan to shift to like a new location. Like I've got a couple of benches in here. What else we got? The food production's good. I'm probably not going to move any leathers or anything like that. I don't think I need plasteel until I'm at the new location. I want to make eyes with that. Bionic eyes. Gold I'll need for the, obviously, bionic eyes and stuff too. It might be safer to send those in transport pods, actually, come to think of it. How much gold can I put in a transport pod? That's a fucking good question. Because it still weighs stuff. Only thing I'm thinking is that when you have this much value in a colony, because you got to remember we're in like a few million fucking wealth, right? Is putting that into a caravan is guaranteed multiple attacks on the way to the location. And it's just a fucking nightmare because it slows everything down. People get injured. There's like resources wasted, time wasted and stuff. I don't really want that. I can fit all of the money in there. It's only 8 grams. I thought it was light. Okay. I do have traders coming at the moment, but I could put that, and let me put the plasteel in there. Because I'll just fucking throw it at the new location. Like, I don't need to do that ASAP, but I do want to see what it adds up to. Like plasteel? Plasteel's pretty heavy, so I can't put in a lot. That's fine. Reset that. I do want to see... what was it? Steel? Steel's capped at 300. That's probably not the good thing to kind of send. I could send it for, like, obviously, like, needed. Sending blocks and stuff, that's definitely not worth it. Okay. I mean, it'd be worth it to send a couple of blocks to be able to get construction and stuff. I remember turrets not being a good thing to send. But then again, packing up a caravan for it's also about the same. Benches fit. Okay. Benches, what about the deep drills? A couple of deep drills. They must be heavy. That's not too bad. I just wanted to have a look at that because I'm like, if I can send high value things via